Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another tier list video. In this one, we will be ranking each game that has been revived thanks to the PlayStation 3 Reborn community. Masterpiece, amazing, good to decent, solid to alright, and trash. These are all of the tiers listed. We have 19 games here, and we are going to rank each and every one and talk about why I think it deserves that certain rating. Alright, let's start with Soldier of Fortune Payback. This game I think is actually solid to alright because the multiplayer mode is extremely simplistic, don't get me wrong. It doesn't have a lot of depth. The campaign is extremely short at just over 2 hours. It has that certain charm about it, which is like the game is quite janky to play through because of how low quality it is, and I think it just adds to that charm. The game looks fine for 2007, not amazing in any way. The multiplayer is actually like quite enjoyable if you're looking for like a much simpler experience, but that's just my opinion. If you just leave them in the comment section below if you guys want, if you want to make a tier list like this by yourselves. I may post it and make it a public tier list. Overall, I think this game has a lot of flaws, but despite all of its just terrible flaws, all of the bad stuff it has, I just still find it charming because since it's like one of those low quality games, I actually think the campaign is really goofy as well. So that's what I have to say about Soldier of Fortune Payback. We'll just go over all of these games one by one, and hopefully you guys will agree with the things I'm gonna say. I don't know, if you guys hate some of these games, just tell me. I want to hear your opinions as well because I'll be really happy to see them. Alright, Guitar Hero Aerosmith. This is the only Guitar Hero game I've ever played because it has controller support. I actually think this is a good game, not decent. This is a good game because the song selection is really good. The controller feels really janky. No, I cannot say why they went with the controller route. I actually think it's fine for what it is. The song selection is really good, as always with a Guitar Hero game. I actually love the cutscenes a lot because it tells the story of the band as well. It has, I've never seen something like it honestly, because maybe it's because of it's my first Guitar Hero game, but I just find this game to be extremely charming, you know. How do I say this? Something about the online just gives me 2010 vibes, if you know what I mean. It's like a 1v1 battle, you are trash talking each other like you suck, or something. I just think it's actually like really charming to play through. Would I ever play it again? I don't think so because I'm not really into rhythm games whatsoever, but for what it is, I just find it to be really charming, and you should definitely check this game out. Now, History Channel Battle for the Pacific, trash, just literal trash. So remember all of the things I said about Soldier of Fortune Payback and why I put it in the alright tier instead of trash. This game has worse frame rate, shorter campaign, a worse multiplayer experience. The maps are trash. Everything about it is just absolutely bottom of the barrel dog shit. The AI is shit. You can't sprint. There are no loadouts. There's like 6 maps in the entire game. There is nothing in this game that really makes it a good game, even like a revisitable one. The only good thing about this game is that it's 2 gigabytes, just like Soldier of Fortune. In fact, this game is so similar to Soldier of Fortune that the IDs of these 2 games are extremely similar. Like, it's literally Soldier of Fortune Payback with a reskin. It's so bad though, it's absolutely garbage. You should, like, maybe like first few rounds you'll find it funny because it's actually like bad, hilariously bad, but after a while it just gets on your nerves really quickly. The hit detection is off, the multiplayer game modes don't work as intended. Just nothing really seems to function properly as it should. Especially the guns are terrible, the grenades just keep bouncing like it's ragdoll from Gmod. It's overall a just really bad game. I can rant about this game for another 10 minutes. It's so bad that you would want to just bury this game in your garden and never look at its face again. I was highly suggested don't give this a try. I did, kind of suffered, but I did what man had to do. 007 Legends. Trash. I was almost gonna put that alright, but this game is garbage. Why? First of all, there is a dead zone in the analog stick that doesn't let you look that way. Aiming is off, it just keeps snapping, it's really snappy. And that's a bad thing for this game because the aiming itself is absolutely horrid. The guns hit detections are once again terrible. Your guy sprints for 0.7 seconds, I counted that, and it just immediately stops. You can't really run in this game, so this game just ends up being a extremely slow paced game considering that they went for a Call of Duty like style. What else is there to say? It's a 5-hour campaign and it just puts like 5 of the movies into a different into like they just put the set lists of each movie, which comes out horrible. This was a really ambitious concept for a game. That's why I almost put it at the right here. I think the overall concept is really good, just like playing through all of the movies, since this is like the 50th anniversary of James Bond. This was released in 2012 and it had an ambitious concept. I would have loved this game to actually be a really good one, but sadly this is just absolutely terrible. Should you revisit this game? If you like janky shooters, if you like janky controls, janky movements, if you're all about that, you should definitely give this a try. But I don't know, man, this was just not it for me. Now, GoldenEye Reloaded. But before this video I was considering almost also trash, but I played it more and more and more. I decided to put this at decent. These two games, GoldenEye Reloaded and Legends, are pretty similar, but this game has better maps, better controls, better aiming. Aiming actually has some weight to it. There's like a certain way like you have to aim in order to kill people. Unlike this, you cannot ever aim in this game. This game you can actually aim. The maps are really enjoyable. Leveling up is kind of slow, which is why I don't like it. I would have put this at almost amazing if the leveling up was good and the controls were a little bit better, but this is an extremely solid game. This sold really poorly, all because it came out just a week before Black Ops 1, which sold like a lot of units. I think like 10 million or something. So this came out in the busiest time of the year. It just was horrible timing by the devs. It's a decent game. I actually think this is another like revisit worth game. The single player is also solid too. It's not that bad. I played through it. It's not too terrible actually, unlike what other people try to make it out to be. This was supposed to be a reboot of the 1997 game, and we didn't get that. This was a Call of Duty game with a GoldenEye skin on it. But for what it is, I actually think this game is good. You know, this is unlike Legends. Even the campaign in Legends was terrible, but this game is actually good. It's quite enjoyable to play through. It's enjoyable to play it online. Just have fun with friends, like shits and giggles. It's really fun to play through. So that's, I think, all there is to say about GoldenEye Reloaded. I'll just go through these very briefly so you get like an idea of each game. Shaun White snowboarding. It's between these. Masterpiece or amazing. I'll put this at amazing because this game was my first snowboarding game I've ever played in my life. I gotta say, holy shit, this game is amazing. It has amazing progression, it has amazing gameplay, The tricks feel so satisfying to do. The online is just incredibly relaxing to play. Just, you know, like talk with friends while just like snowboarding down the mountain, doing missions. Like, it's just a beautiful game to play through. The graphics look also quite damn good. Like, this is the game I have the least amount of experience with, so I'm just gonna make it really brief. Not that I think these were like really brief, but this game right here, like, considering this is the first one I've ever played, this is incredible. Like, for a snowboarding game, I think Ubisoft knocked it out of the park with this one. Unlike the later Ubisoft games where they had like 20 notifications spamming your screen and it was just really distracting, this game is not that at all. You should definitely give this a try if you want to take a break from SSX, or just like 1080 snowboarding or something. If you're playing those and you want like an online snowboarding game, this is a game you should definitely give a shot for. It's amazing. With that out of the way, let's move on to Stop and Ignition. So this is a sequel to the 2004 game. I think it was 2004 game, Stuntman, the first one, which was incredibly difficult. I actually played it briefly and I just quit after like the first chapter because it was just incredibly hard. But this is the sequel to it, and it is much easier and much more accessible. Stop and Ignition this is like a one-of-a-kind game. Like, how many games do you know that you play as the director says, pull off certain stunts, all of that? It has that 2007 jank, and I absolutely adore that. Like, 2007 was a time when games were like just like kind of experimenting with different ideas, you know, like BioShock was this arts game, Time Shift had time travel, first person shooter vibe. It was amazing. Even some racing games, Project Gotham Racing was like, it just came out of nowhere and just wet the floor with other racing games. This game is one of those. Is it janky? Absolutely. It has the certain stuntman. This didn't lose its identity whatsoever. The vibe this game gives you is just janky Bollywood game. The game runs really well on a PS3 too. This game is like that time of PlayStation 3 when games were like unlocked frame rates, where like it would fluctuate between 60 and 30, 60 and 30. This was around that era of games. The online is extremely fun to play through. You're pretty much just racing around tracks. It just gets, the only problem I have with this, it gets repetitive quite fast because the lack of game modes just don't really have you keep playing. It doesn't have that incentive to keep you like engaged in the game. But if you're just looking for like a certain hour or two fun, I think this is definitely certainly worth playing through. It's really fun to play. I love this game. I got introduced to Stuntman out of the 2 games they made, but this was really enjoyable. With that, oh, sorry, I forgot to say one more thing. The single player also kicks ass. It is pretty much Stuntman. If you guys know Stuntman 1, this is pretty much that, but much easier. It's still not easy, but much easier. I think this is actually like medium difficulty compared to fucking Dark Souls, that is Stuntman 1. But anyways, that's what I have to say about Stuntman Ignition. We have 12 more games left to go, so let's just get through them. The Club, masterpiece. Just kidding, not masterpiece. Amazing. I'm putting this at amazing because there is just not a lot of single player variety whatsoever, because this game, I know it was solely made for multiplayer, but I think the game just misses the mark with single player. All you do is just shoot. It feels like a training Like there's these tournaments, but like I don't find them to be really fun. I think this game pretty much was made for multiplayer. Now, let's talk about it actually. In fact, the multiplayer in this game is simply amazing. A lot of maps, good variety, not a lot of incentive, just like stop and ignition to keep you playing. Not, I don't think this game even has stats, I'm pretty sure. But this game is just simply amazing. The third person shooter Max Payne Stranglehold like. I think if you like Max Payne Stranglehold, Uncharted, if you like those games, you will definitely love this game. I do. I love this game so much. I would even put it on top of amazing, because the multiplayer of this game is simply incredible. Like, I would definitely keep revisiting this game time and time again. It's just so good. Like, it's genuinely one of my all-time favorite games, despite not putting it at masterpiece. In order for this to be a masterpiece, I was expecting just a little bit more depth with the gunplay, because all you do is run and shoot. Like, there isn't like a certain learning curve to it. All you do is just blast your way through the enemies, I think. And since it doesn't have that depth, I just put this at on top of amazing. I think this is the most suitable tier that this game would be in. It has training mode, it has tournament mode. I haven't played tournament mode because I don't care enough about it. But I guess that's all I have to say about the club, really. Now, 007 Bloodstone. This is probably the best James Bond game that Activision has ever made. Why? Because this game, again, it suffered from, oh guys, by the way, I misinformed you guys by accident. This game wasn't the one that came a week before Black Ops. This was the one that came out a week before Black Ops. So just a little correction there. Anyways, like I was saying, this game's multiplayer is simply amazing. Does it have enough variety? No. Does it have enough maps? No. But the gunplay, the cover system, the third person gameplay, I really loved. Like, there's not jank, there's nothing that screams jank about this gunplay or this gameplay in general. The hit detection is kind of questionable at some places. It's genuinely really good. Especially that map with the snow and stuff. Like, what was it called? I don't have the map's name in mind currently, but that is one of my favorites because it has a lot of flanking positions, a lot of room for both teams to just duke it out. The single player is also really good. Maybe the story itself is not good, but playing it through is genuinely good. Some areas it's bland as hell, don't get me wrong, but this is a mostly enjoyable experience when it comes to just single player. If you don't have any other James Bond game and you want to play a James Bond game on PS3, this is certainly the game you should pick. Like, this game pretty much wipes the floor with GoldenEye Reloaded and Legends, even Quantum of Solace. It wipes them out, and this is pretty much the best James Bond game on PlayStation 3, especially 7th gen in general. So yeah, it doesn't have a shit ton of depth, just like Stop and Ignition, The Club, Soldier of Fortune. It doesn't have a lot of depth, but this game still knocks it out of the park because it's an engaging game. It has stats, it has you engaged all the time, so you can level up and get better guns. It is certainly like extremely enjoyable still to play. I would love to play this game once like the game nights starts. I guess I would love to do that. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this game, really. I don't have much to say about Bloodstone. Just a masterpiece, beautiful game. Graphics look amazing. I don't care what anyone else says. Okay, Wolfenstein. Just because of the peer-to-peer, I was gonna put this as solid alright, but I'm gonna put this at decent. This game is a rock solid game, I gotta say. Like, this is above solid for sure. The single player is really engaging. It has that, again, it's that jank. Like, it's like it came out at a time when every single shooter had to be brown. The movement is just like what you would expect from a Wolfenstein game, except it's more Call of Duty like. Also, this was one of the last games Raven Software like ever published, like aside from Call of Duty games. They knocked it out of the park with the single player. But what about the multiplayer, right? The multiplayer's only drawback is that it does not have enough maps. It has like 7, but those 7 are generally not good maps. But the gunplay is just generally so intense and engaging that I can just look past all of its flaws. Also, speaking of bad maps, Facility is terrible. That's like one of my least favorites. Or Bank, that's also quite bad. That rhymed actually. Anyways, this game is actually a rock solid game, I would say. This is a good game. Maybe like leaning towards decent, but I think this is genuinely a good game. Is it worth revisiting? Without lag, absolutely. We had a rooftop match, like 5 versus 5. It was the best time of my life. I have the video up on my channel. You should definitely check this game out if you can get it on Xbox 360, PS3. On 360 it's still up because this game uses Xbox Live for its servers and this game uses Demonware. So it's still up. You can play it. I don't know about the PC version though, so yeah. That's what I have to say about Wolfenstein, really. I won't make a in-depth review. I don't want to make this video 3 hours long. But overall, these games, the good to decent tier are games I would certainly like still revisit. Maybe not all the time, but from time to time I would still revisit these games, definitely. Like, Wolfenstein falls into that category, in my opinion. Now, here we go. So this is gonna get extremely controversial. I know. I am very well aware. I was going into this being absolutely blasted. Far Cry 2, hands down, is the best Far Cry game. I'm gonna put this at masterpiece. Why? Is it janky? Yes. Is the hit detection off? Yes. Is the single player like overstaying its welcome? Absolutely. Is the multiplayer maps maybe not the best in the series? Yes. But this game's map editor, oh my god, this game's maps editor is simply insane. It is genuinely has a lot of depth into it. The guns are actually quite realistic because they can actually jam from shooting too much. The game, again, it falls into that era of 07 to 08 where the games released around that time were like just really janky and still experimenting. This is an extremely ambitious game. That's the second burp. That's the third burp. Anyways, this game is really ambitious. It tries a lot of different stuff. It has extremely realistic physics. Oh my god. The cars handle really realistically. When you throw Molotov, everywhere around you burns. It's really like a lot of realism. This is like probably the most realistic Far Cry game out of all of them. Yes, that includes Primal. This is a really good game. I still revisit this. These two, I still revisit these all the time for the multiplayer. But the map editor really just absolutely knocks it out of the park here. Like, it's simply incredible. So like, even if you don't like the multiplayer, right, even if you dislike the game back then, you gotta admit the map editor was genuinely really a fine addition to the game, and the first game in fact. So again, it has its flaws, but certainly just a beautiful game. Graphics look good. Again, piss filter, but I can overlook the piss filter pretty much. So yeah, that's what I have to say. SmackDown versus Raw. Ooh, I did not play this game. Let me be honest. I'm not gonna just say, I'm not gonna come out of shit out of my ass, but I have not played this game. Alright? didn't. So I don't know if it may be a masterpiece, maybe up here, but I have no idea. Whew. Oh fuck, I'm scared for this next one. Race driver grid. Okay. Race driver grid. Many people will put it up here, right? I will put this at amazing. Why? Because the multiplayer is simply just, I think it's lacking. It has a shit ton of races. Yes, it has so many tracks, a lot of variety in the tracks. Like, it just keeps it engaging still. But I am not too big into simcade games like Grid, you know. I just think that the piss filter also like really kills it for me. I would usually overlook the piss filter, but this game just puts it on the next level. Like, holy shit, it generally doesn't look good with the piss filter. This game is an amazing game still. The multiplayer is extremely revisitable. In fact, I played this just a few days ago with friends. I wasn't recording that, but just a few days ago I was playing this. So this game has drift battles, and just because of the drift battles I can look past all of the flaws it has, like the piss filter, maybe the multiplayer can be sometimes not good. Just because of that, I put this at amazing. I'm just like kind of planning out the time for Grid, because I'm gonna be completely honest, I have not played the single player for this game. I bought this game on disc solely because of the multiplayer. I've not played on single player just yet, but I genuinely think it's good. It's really fucking good. Like, I love this game. We played with friends. Destruction Derby is one of my favorites, probably still to this day. I just want more games that experimented with different ideas like Grid. You actually have team management, you have different liveries, you need to actually, like, there's amazing progression. This was, most people would say Codemasters at their peak, absolutely, and I agree with that statement. It's so good. You should definitely give this a try. It's generally great at what it does. With the stuff that's not good, you can still look past them. I almost put this at masterpiece, you know. It's that good. I would even put it on top of amazing. Like, this is really close to masterpiece. In order for it to be a masterpiece, I would expect less piss filters and the drift battles to be just more ironed out. But other than that, this game is just almost a masterpiece, you know. Haze. Now, my legal team highly advised me to not put this at trash, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because why? Number one, the aiming is terrible. Number two, the sprinting is fucking terrible. I don't think there's sprinting. I'm so sorry. Sorry, my bad. Movement is terrible. Nectar is not good at all. I don't care how much people like it. It's not a good mechanic. It just adds a gimmick for the sake of adding a gimmick. It doesn't make sense. Like, what, if you shoot an enemy you go apeshit crazy? What is that? That doesn't make any sense, you know. I don't understand why it has like staying power. The multiplayer is not amazing. The maps are really simplistic. The co-op is, maybe the co-op is the only thing that like actually carries this game. The story is absolutely horrendous. It's really just not a followable story. You don't understand anything that happens. Your guy just suddenly turns against the fucking hazers, I guess. I don't even know their names. See, I already forgot their names. Shane Carpenter, that's the only guy I remember. Because, I don't know, he betrayed them. That's the only way I remember that guy. It is genuinely a bad game. I don't think you guys should. If you guys want to try the multiplayer, there is still some enjoyment to be had, because I think, again, 2008, 2007, that janky era, I'm not going to mention that again, but it is a good game if you want to look past everything the game has that is really bad. If you're really good at that, I think you can definitely try this game out. But I actually think this is trash. I would put it on top of the trash pile. Like, if there's a trash plus tier, I would put it there definitely. And yeah, I guess this game is just bad. I mean, I don't think you should really play this. Even if this game had trophies, I don't think you should even 100% this game, because with 6-axis fucking being introduced, because this is a PlayStation 3 exclusive, you cannot beat this at single player unless you get extremely lucky. You cannot beat this at single player, because in order to put out the fire, you actually need to shake your controller like this, like you're jerking your cock off or something. You need to do that, but it just doesn't work. It's generally bad. So don't give this a chance. You can all unsubscribe if you want to. I generally do not care. This game is bad. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 2 is the next game. Okay, so I don't know if I should judge this game based on the PS3 version or the PC version. Because on PS3 I would give this like solid. For the PC I would give this a good, because of like the performance improvements and all of that. I'll judge it just based on the PS3 version. PS3 versions of this game. This game is again a really ambitious title in the Tom Clancy's franchise. Many games, and this game is one of the more unique ones, I would even say. There's actual teamwork that needs to be done. I'm gonna put this on top. I don't think, okay, no way this game is worse than Soldier of Fortune. That's impossible. This game is almost decent. This game actually has like incentive for you to work as a team and like just flank them from different positions. It's more of like a strategical game. You should definitely give this a try if you like third-person shooters that have like strategy mechanics and all of that. Fort Burp. This game is just executes everything good, but the thing that's holding this game back is, again, it's not engaging enough like for you to just keep going, because this game doesn't have incredible amount of variety whatsoever, because maybe it was rushed, I have no idea, but I don't know, the lack of variety just kind of killed it for me, in my opinion. It's just not a revisitable game. But this is like a still solid game to go back on. I would give this like a 7 out of 10, 6, 7 out of 10. This is genuinely a good game still. You know, I'm gonna put this at here, like the very bottom of good. I don't think putting this game with the as like same as the Sword of Fortune is a crime. I'm not gonna do that. Enemy Territory Quake Wars. Ooh. Okay, let's think about this. Should I really just ignore that Soldier of Fortune Payback is on solid and put this at alright? Or should I put this at good? Let me think. I mean, this is one of the most unique games I've ever played. Just because of that, I'm gonna put this at good. It is certainly better. Okay, it's actually better than both of these games, because this game does stuff that is not done. This is Quake, by the way. If you didn't see the Quake subtitle, I don't think you would think this is a Quake game. But the multiplayer, again, I'm not gonna mention this. Janky era 2007. This game tried a lot of different stuff. You could fly with jetpacks. You could work as a team. You could drive boats to kill people. I mean, I'm like explaining all of these like as if it's revolutionary, but I'm not saying that. That's not my intention. But you know, this game is still like one of the most unique games I've ever played. Like, it has these open maps. you drop on a parachute with. This is what I would tell you guys. I'll tell you guys this. This is Battlefield on absolute crack cocaine. It is so chaotic. Like when you have a lot of people playing this, it is genuinely a really chaotic experience that everyone should experience in their lifetime. Everyone should like have a chance with this game, because this game is considered not good. Most people will put it right here, but I just don't think Soldier of Fortune Payback is as bad as this game, you know. I don't think putting any game next to this will do any justice. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Quake Wars, really, because I don't have a shit ton of experience. It's not like I poured in 20 hours of my life into this in a row or something. So yeah, Quake Wars is a really revisitable game. Fun mechanics, ambitious concepts. It's a good game, you know. It's generally good. Now let's move on to sorry, that was the 5th burp. I'm burping a lot today, sorry for that. Colin McRae Dirt. This is the first Dirt game out of the 5 that they made, mainline speaking. Okay, this is not masterpiece, there's no way. Like here, I think this is fitting. This is an amazing game. The first Dirt game, which was released in 2007, still holds up incredibly well. The tracks are really fun to drive through. The handling it could be hit or miss. I hate the trucks in this game so much. The trucks don't handle that well. They're really stiff. But the overall handling is genuinely good. And having 100 player lobbies in a rally game is simply not done anywhere else. Like, tell me one rally game that you can play with 100 players. Nobody. Actually none. There's none. This is the only game that does it. It's a really ambitious game. The piss filter is extremely apparent. The environments feel like Motorstorm 1. That's not an insult, but I just think that if there was enough variety in terms of like the looks, I would definitely put this at the same level right here. I would put this over Grid. But only reason this game doesn't deserve the masterpiece is I think the multiplayer is not that playable. Again, no stats, not an incentive to keep you playing. Once you're done with everything about the multiplayer, there isn't much left to really play. And what else is there to say? The single player progression, again, is super fun. Like, Dirt 1's progression is surprisingly good for a game like this, considering how well the McRae Rally games did it, like from 2004. Colin McRae 04 as well, yeah. It's not the same level as that pretty much. They genuinely have amazing progression and actually rewarding you a lot. So yeah, this game is still an amazing game that you should definitely check out. I'm gonna put this over Club actually, in fact. These two games are on the same level. Now, this is gonna be controversial. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. I only played the multiplayer, okay? Single player might be like the best writing that puts Half-Life 2 blushing. This game might be beating out fucking Modern Warfare 1 in terms of single player. Like, this game may be just putting every single game there is to shame when it comes to single player, but I only played the multiplayer. It is trash. This is, in my 12 years of playing video games, I have never seen a game that had this awful of a multiplayer in my life before. Where do I even start? First of all, it's region locked, so you can't even play with European players. So if your friend had US copy and you have a European, you're fucked. GG, it's done. But no, I can jailbreak my PS3 and get a USA copy. What's stopping me from that? Once you get in a match, the lag is terrible. There's a 2-second input delay. The game actually locks up sometimes when you're trying to go through the menus. It is generally the worst 2 hours of my life I've ever spent. I tried to look past them, but the amount of times the game like kept freezing when lagging, and the amount of input delay, the amount of just bunch of bullshit happening, you know. This game is very reminiscent of God of War. I don't know if that's the right game to compare it to, but in terms of the combat, I think this is reminiscent of God of War. Like, I could still somewhat like it, you know, like somewhat I could enjoy this game, but the multiplayer is generally the worst experience I've ever had with a single player game. Sorry, multiplayer, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this game. It is because we couldn't even get past the first chapter because we just kept getting soft locked after some time. So, sorry. This game is terrible. Don't play this online. I would highly suggest you stay far and far away. If you're gonna play this as a single player game, play it. Great game. Probably a great game. So that's what I have to say about this game, really. And Splinter Cell Double Agents, I have not played this game, so maybe I'll make like a re-review after some time of all of these games once PS3 Reborn restores more of them. So yeah, I think that's gonna be about it for me, folks. This was a fun video to make, just sharing my thoughts about all of them. Again, we are speaking solely on the PlayStation 3 version. These games may not be the same. In fact, these games may be better on PC, but I'm just speaking in terms of the PS3 version for every single one of these. His doesn't even have a 360 version, you know, but you know what I mean. With that, I'm gonna end the video right here. I would like to thank everybody who made it to the end of this video. I think you can check out the PlayStation 3 Reborn Discord server. Again, this was not a gameplay video, but I'll still link the DNS settings for those who are having trouble connecting to the game. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.